Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Hopefully, you've all had a fantastic Friday. It is Thursday when I'm recording this video, but I'm going to release it tomorrow. Tied up with a number of things tomorrow, so I won't actually be making any videos on Friday. Maybe a daily cryptocurrency market update, just because I can't help myself. But this is going to be a Cardano specific video. You know, really getting everybody up to date with where we're at, where the price of ADA is at, and where Cardano is at as a blockchain. And it's never been in such a good position despite the price. And the price is really dictated, as we've been constantly reiterating, by external forces. You know, Cardano is absolutely flourishing as a blockchain, and it's wonderful to see. And the price just simply does not reflect that. So we will get into the price. We have very much reiterated our bias now for the past couple of months that, look, things are going lower across the board. Bitcoin is going lower. Cardano is going lower. You know, it's just the nature of the beast, the nature of the market that we're currently in. And there's not a great deal any of us can do about that, despite all the amazing things taking place. And we're going to cover some of those in this video. What we're going to be doing, we will get into the price, but before we dive into the price of Cardano, we're going to be talking about the Vasil Hardfork. There was a delay with this. We now have more clarity. Not only will we be looking at the official sort of Twitter thread from IO HK, but we're also going to be hearing from the Cardano 360 event. And we didn't get a chance to talk about the congressional hearing that Charles Hoskinson essentially gave. I mean, if you could have a leader of a blockchain, for me, it would be Charles. You know, he's one of the main reasons that I got into Cardano back in 2018, and he's one of the main reasons that I'm still in it. My views on blockchain very much align with his, and I think his vision for Cardano is a true one, very much like Satoshi's. And I think he really understands this space and really understands the magnitude of where it's going. You know, I get a lot of criticism for talking about price. At the end of the day, guys, I'm an investor, I'm a trader. You know, that's how I make my living. So I'm going to talk about that kind of stuff. And I think it interests a lot of people. I think crypto wouldn't be where it is as an industry without people speculating on the price. I think that's a very true statement. However, I can kind of understand why talking about price may trivialize a lot of, you know, what's really taking place. You know, blockchain is far more than price appreciation. You know, it is a real revolutionary technology akin to the internet, akin to the PC revolution, even akin to the likes of the railroad industry. It's no different. You know, it's going to change all our lives moving forwards and actually integrate itself in everyday life. Just like we drive cars every day, which was the motoring industry, just like we're talking right now over the internet, on a PC, you know, we're going to be using blockchain in a day-to-day basis. And we're not there yet. You know, it's a very small industry. So we're going to play a few clips. We're going to play the sort of opening statement from Charles in the congressional hearing. I'm sure many of you have heard of it, but we're going to start things off really with an update on the Vasil Hardfork. And I'm going to read the tweet from Input Output. So you guys know I'm dyslexic, so bear with me, guys. We're delighted to report that in the last few minutes, we have submitted an upgrade proposal to hard fork the Cardano testnet and commence the countdown for the Vasil mainnet upgrade. So we know this was supposed to come out this month. We would have essentially, if things had gone to plan already, have had the Vasil hard fork. It would have come out on the 29th, but it got pushed back a month. And it's, you know, there were several sort of minor bugs that had been found, and that's not a bad thing. Get used to blockchain deadlines not getting hit. You know, it's common across all blockchains. It's very complex things that, you know, are being done here, and it's something you really don't want to rush. And we've seen rushed projects really capitulate under the bear market pressures. And this is a bear market. You know, I was kind of in denial 5 or 6 months ago, you know, not really wanting to call this a bear market. I still really saw the hope for the cryptocurrency market space. And then I really honed in on the macro conditions. And macroeconomics is really weighing very heavily, I believe, on the cryptocurrency market's shoulders. However, Cardano will survive and thrive. I believe that. I'm a true believer in this project. Yes, we're majority in cash right now, you know, 70% cash, 30% crypto. And we are actually looking to unload a little bit more crypto just because we think things get worse before they get better. But I am a long-term believer in ADA, and it is a coin that I will be wanting to accumulate heavily moving forwards because it's got a long, bright future ahead of it. And all the, you know, sort of partnerships and advancements really highlight that to me. With over 75% of testnet blocks being created by the new Vasil nodes 1.35.0, we now have a good chain density to proceed safely. Thanks to all the Cardano SPOs who continue to support the testnet and their coordinated efforts to ready the network for the Vasil Hardfork event. Once the changes have taken effect after the start of Epoch 215 at 2020 UTC time on July the 3rd, the Cardano testnet will start to enjoy the new Vasil enhancements and capabilities that we'll soon see on mainnet. The Vasil upgrades, named in honor of a long-standing community member, the late St. Dabov, forgive me if I'm butchering that, guys, bring significant performances and capability upgrades to Cardano. Vasil improvements include higher throughput through diffusion pipelines to a better developer experience via much improved script performance and efficiency, plus lower costs. It is Cardano's biggest and best upgrade to date. So this is what I mean. Despite the price, you know, Cardano has never been in such a good position. And we have actually said that it was actually quite unlikely that you were going to see a run up to this hard fork. Just like, you know, we know that we saw a run up to the Vasil hard fork. Sorry, not the Vasil hard fork, the Alonso hard fork, which were at all-time highs, and so on. But we're in a different conditions. The prior three hard forks that took place were in flourishing bull markets, you know, where traders would have really been looking to take advantage of the hype. Of course, we know this because they sold straight after the hard fork. We're just not in the same kind of environment. And Cardano is holding, but we will drop down the timeframes and talk about that, where it's currently at. But we'll just get through this thread first, play a couple of clips, then get into everything. It is also the most complex program of work we've ever undertaken, and the whole community is involved. As shared previously, our prime concern is ensuring we manage this upgrade in a way that is safe and secure. Of course, you know, I really like, you know, Cardano's whole ethos is to peer review things before going to market. Other blockchains have moved fast and broken things, and we've seen that all unfold and really cascade during the past couple of months. Certainly if you talk about the likes of Luna, we're seeing it on many other blockchains. It's not just a Luna specific thing. The community has requested a minimum period of 4 weeks to allow SPOs, devs and exchanges the time they need to test and upgrade before hard forking in the Cardano mainnet. Once everyone is comfortable and ready, we'll go through the same process to upgrade the mainnet to Vasil. Join our Thursday Cardano meeting, which is today. So this thread came out significantly beforehand, or I should say 2 days prior. We'll get a quick update from Nigel Hemsworth or Hemsley, and then we'll move on to Cardano in Charles actually testifying in front of Congress. This was fantastic. You know, I really love to see it. He's a brilliant speaker and a brilliant leader. And that's really what he is. You know, he's a pioneer in the cryptocurrency space, not only through his early involvement in Ethereum, but now, you know, really continuing to fly the crypto flag in front of the likes of Congress. So let's hear from Nigel very quickly, then we'll move on to Charles, and then we'll wrap this video up with a little bit of price action. We have stated for a while now that we think prices are going lower across the board. If you guys watch my daily cryptocurrency market updates, you'll know the score. You know, we were out at sort of your mid-40 range for Bitcoin, and we said certainly under $1 for Cardano. Anything under that is not good. We needed to really reclaim that. And here we are down at 44 cents. Not saying that to brag. You know, we've got many things wrong. We got how 2021 was going to end wrong. But we move on from that, pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and look towards the future, which is a bright one for ADA holders. But we've got turmoil before we get to the destination that I believe we're going.
So on Tuesday, we announced that we'd be hard forking the Cardano testnet at the weekend. Really, this is the countdown to releasing the Vasil upgrade on the mainnet. I'm now joined by Nigel for a little bit of an update. So Nigel, it's been a long road to here.
Hi Tim, it sure has, and everyone's worked incredibly hard to get to this place. We've been very careful. We've made sure that we've covered all the testing that we want to do across every category, dApps, integrations, downstream products, you name it. And we all decided as a team that we've got to the right quality. And at this point, we are ready to hard fork the testnet. So that goes ahead, and it will hard fork on Sunday, the 3rd of July. And at this point, we're then looking at a period of 4 weeks where we'll be asking the community, SPOs, dApps to do their part of the testing, as well as exchanges, and make sure that they're ready for our mainnet hard fork.
So just a little bit further to go. And of course, there have been an awful lot of people working very hard. I caught up with a number of them a little bit earlier this.
We'll skip that bit. I'm sure many of you have watched the Cardano 360 event. Always amazing to me how little views it gets, given that it is, you know, a real insight into just how well the blockchain is doing. And a little longer to go. They said 4 weeks essentially in this thread. So it may not be this month, may roll into next month. At the end of the day, guys, there's no rush whilst we're in a bear market, certainly in regards to price appreciation. But Cardano is coming on leaps and bounds. And people often forget that you've got literally thousands, or I should say over 1,000 projects actually building on top of ADA. Keep an eye on DeFi Llama. Huge congratulations, by the way, to Wing Riders. For those of you that haven't caught my interview with Karen and Liam, from the Wing Riders team, you know, this is a DEX that I personally like, you know, and I know there's a little bit of, you know, sort of criticism here and there, but if you look at what these guys are actually doing, they're very community focused, and they're actually allowing stake pools the opportunity to further their endeavors, and you don't have to be the biggest player in the room to gain access to that. So I'm a big fan of Wing Riders, so huge congratulations to them. You know, things are still building. We've only got 11 projects here. We've got thousands coming, guys. And this is just the start. Things are going to snowball. By the time the new bull rolls around, ADA's going to be in a very good position. It's not going anywhere, guys. We've shown you previous snapshots for Cardano back in 2017. It was practically in the same place that it is now. Solid project, ain't going nowhere. All the haters on Twitter, all the haters on YouTube, you know, they're full of BS, guys. I mean, it's so full of shit. Because they don't know what they're talking about. You know, you got people calling Cardano a scam. Wake up and smell the coffee. Otherwise, you know, they've got vested interests elsewhere. Very biased, nonsensical nonsense that comes out of many people. We're not going to play the clip from Congress because I'm sure many of you have heard it, but this was huge. I really enjoyed watching this. Enjoyed, you know, it's funny how the individual in the back here was smiling throughout the whole thing. You know, it was a very encouraging testimony that I think Charles gave on the whole crypto space. He has a very good understanding of where this tech is going, and you know, I think Cardano is very much going to be at the forefront of that. We saw them partner with Linux, and we've seen them partner with a number of other huge sort of institutions, if you will, or tech giants. Just, you know, we've got a lot more of this to come down the road. So that was certainly encouraging. Very quickly, guys, remember we do have the stake pool still here. As a stake pool operator, as a believer in ADA, even though I think the price is going lower, you know, I'm not going anywhere in terms of my stake pool for those of you that want to stake. So ALLIN, of course, is the ticker. We're doing very well in terms of blocks this month. We've averaged a 5.2% return. Let's get into the price then, guys. Everyone wants to know about this. We did say anything under here ain't good news. You know, when we were at $1, we were essentially saying, look, you come under here, this is not great. And this was really just a deviation leading you down to lower prices. Ultimately, we have targets for Cardano down sub 30 cents, essentially. And I think it gets there. I think crypto is a liquidity game. You've got to remember, guys, price is driven by liquidity, what comes in and out of markets. More is going out of markets right now than coming into it. And there isn't really a catalyst. Certainly when you look at macroeconomics and you understand that dollar liquidity is getting really squeezed at the moment, to suggest that this market is going to turn around anytime soon. In actual fact, it gets worse, in my opinion, before it gets better. We've given you price targets previously. We weren't very popular for it at all, but I always stick by my guns. You know, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. If I'm right, I'll take full credit for it. Of course. We drop down to the smaller time frames. One thing I really, you know, I've been looking at markets in hindsight. Why did I get 2021 wrong? Well, I wasn't paying attention to macro. I also wasn't paying a great deal of attention to volume. This was your blow off top for your volume. You made this high on very weak volume, and you continued uptrending on downtrending volume. Huge divergence, which should have been a huge indication to me that the trend was vulnerable to change. And that's still very much the case. You know, we're not seeing any sort of a volume change here. Of course, we're seeing the volume spikes lead to directional short-term changes, if nothing else. Drop down the time frames quickly. Because where we currently are, you know, Cardano is going lower, in my opinion. There's no question about it. It's why we're not buying here. It's why we're waiting for lower prices before we enter this market. You're in a kind of descending triangle right now, or you are in what I would call a descending triangle that is really waiting to break. We'll switch to the 4 hours. I don't like going to the 2 hours because it's kind of neither here nor there. But of course, this was your high from Alonzo Hardfork. It's been a brutal ride since then. And essentially where you currently are now, for me, this is very much, you know, a head and shoulders territory, and you're heading down to your lower levels. You're at least coming back down to your 38 cents range and probably going to go lower. You guys can't see that. Apologies because of my big head. That's very much the play that I think is ahead. I am looking to lighten up a little bit of my Cardano bags. We've already, you know, lightened them to a degree, but I will be looking to take more off the table just simply because I think I'm going to get the opportunity to accumulate more ADA at cheaper prices. And that's what this is all about. As much as a believer as I am in Cardano, I'm also here to make money off of it. And also here to, you know, thrive off the market. And ultimately, the aim of the game for me right now is to accumulate as much ADA as possible moving into the future, because I think it's going to play a substantial role in the world that we are moving towards. So that's really all I've got for you in this video, guys. If you have enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Remember, guys, make sure you hit that notification bell if you do subscribe so you get notified whenever there are other videos released. And make sure you watch my daily cryptocurrency market updates, guys, because we'll keep you right, honest, non-BS TA on a day-to-day basis where we really take the macro view into account. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video.